This is a defining moment for us. It's a test not just of our judgment, but of our values. Today, once again, we are called to apply our enduring beliefs to completely new conditions. You know, New Labour has always been at its best when we've applied our values to changing times. In the 1990s, Tony and I asked you to change policy to meet new challenges. We are and will always be pro-enterprise, pro-business and pro-competition as a government. And we believe the dynamism of our 5 million businesses, large and small, is vital to the success of our country. But the continuing market turbulence shows why we now need a new settlement for these times. A settlement that we as a pro-market party must pursue. A settlement where the rewards are for what really matters: hard work, effort, and enterprise. A settlement where both markets and governments are seen to be the servants of the people, not their masters. And it's a settlement where what counts is not the pursuit of any sectional interest, but the advancement of the public interest, where at all times we will put people first. Now, let us be clear, the modern role of government is not to provide everything, but it must be to enable everyone. And just as we know that governments cannot and should not do everything, so too we know markets cannot deliver it all on their own. And just as those who supported the dogma of big government were proved wrong, so too those who argue for the dogma of unbridled free market forces have been proved wrong again. And so it falls to this party and to this government, with our commitment both to fairness and to business, to propose and deliver what, after recent events, everybody should now be willing to accept: that we do all it takes to stabilise the still turbulent financial markets, and then in the months ahead, we do nothing less than rebuild the world financial system and around clear principles. And friends, the work begins now. Tomorrow, I and then Alistair will meet financial and government leaders in America to make these proposals. First, transparency. All transactions need to be transparent and never hidden. Secondly, sound banking, a requirement to demonstrate that risks can be managed and priced for bad and good times. Thirdly, responsibility. No member of a bank's board should be able to say they did not understand the risk they were running and walk away from them. Fourth, integrity, removing conflicts of interest so that bonuses should not be based on short-term speculative deals, but should be a reward for hard work, effort, and enterprise. And fifth, global standards and global supervision. Because the flows of capital are global, then supervision can no longer be national, it has to be global too. And if we make these changes, I believe London will retain its rightful place as the financial centre of the world. And we know that the challenges we face in this new global age, they didn't begin in the last week or in the last months, but in fact reflect deeper changes that are happening in our world. For all its benefits, the global age has revealed not just financial instability, but another major pressure that's hitting everyone. There's a rising global population demanding more energy too. So the new settlement also requires another great and historic endeavour: to end the dictatorship of oil and to avert catastrophic climate change. And the new settlement therefore must mean a transformation in our use of energy, new nuclear power, an unprecedented increase in renewables, and investment in clean coal. And I'm now asking the Climate Change Committee to report by October on the case for, by 2050, not a 60% reduction in our carbon emissions, but 80% cut. And I want British companies and British workers to seize the opportunity and lead the world in the transformation to a low-carbon economy. And I believe we can create in modern green manufacturing and services 1 million new jobs. But you know, it's not just our duty, it's our basic philosophy that we do everything we can to help families through the world downturn fairly. And while the Conservatives did nothing to help people weather gas and electricity bills in the last world downturn, this winter millions of people will receive the help with heating bills, insulation, social tariffs, help they never received from the Conservatives. But you know, when it comes to public spending, you can't just wave a magic wand to conjure up the money, not even with the help from Harry Potter. So there are tough choices, and I have to say, as a result of events of recent months, we will have to make new priorities, tougher choices, and we will have to make and prioritise what is necessary for the future. There are going to be tougher choices, and we will have to make them. And just as families have to make economies to make ends meet, so this government must and will ensure that we get value for money out of every single pound of your money. And I say to you, we will invest it wisely, continuing through the downturn our record investment in schools, Sure Start centres, transport and hospitals. And you know, if we make the right decisions to take people through this world downturn and do so fairly, we will find that despite the turbulent troubles, Britain's firms and British workers can reap the rewards of a world economy that whatever happens is set to double in size. And with Britain's great assets, our stability, our openness, our scientific genius, our creative industries, yes, our English language too, I know that this can be a British century, and I'm determined it will be. But my argument today is that the new settlement for the global age must do even more to empower people with new opportunities and to insure people against the new risks, and as a result value hard work, effort and enterprise. It's the economy, of course, that's been making the headlines, but other big changes are happening too. You know, people feel their communities are changing before their eyes, and it's increasing their anxiety about crime and antisocial behaviour. And so we will be the party of law and order. And for the first time ever, we've got more British pensioners than there are British children. More people living longer on fixed incomes and worried about whether they'll need long-term care. So we will be the party that delivers security and dignity for all pensioners. And you know, there are new pressures on parents, worrying about balancing work and family lives, but also about advertising aimed straight at their children and what their children are watching or downloading from the internet. And so we will be the party of the family. And so the new settlement for our times will show how Britain can meet all these challenges. And it's more than about a fair prosperity, it must be about fair chances and fair rules too. You know, some people say that there's an inevitable political cycle in this country, as sure as night follows day. I don't agree. The challenge of these new times demands a truly progressive government to help people cope with the new risks and make the most of these new opportunities. And that's why I believe now more than ever, even more than in 1997, this country needs a Labour government.